Hi everyone. So I've been using this Pixel 6a for over 1.5 months now, but I did not switch to this phone as my primary phone initially. And in my recent review, I mentioned that one reason why I did not do that, even though I love this phone and I am a Pixel fan. See, if you want to watch that review, I can link it here. But if you don't want to, that's okay because I'm going to share my experience because this is the only phone I'm using right now. And bear in mind, I'm coming from Z Fold 4, so the change is drastic, but I will share my experience. After switching from Z Fold 4, I've been enjoying this phone a lot, and the biggest reason is the size and weight. It is an easy phone to use with one hand, and I have started using this phone without a case. Initially, I was skeptical that I'm going to scratch this phone because it has that plastic back. But the thing is, even after with that case, it is still getting scratched because the dust particles get into the case. I'm using a Pigeon Air case. Maybe with the official case, that might not be the issue. But with that case, I'm still getting it scratched. So I thought, why not use it without a case? Hey, I'm not asking you to use your phone without a case. Just because I am stupid, you don't need to be. But it does feel great in the hand without a case. And I actually notice the fingerprints more than the scratches. It does have some scratches here, but it's more of this fingerprint on this glossy back. I don't know why Google is not using a matte back now because they used to do that in the past. I initially had the issue with the green tint on this phone, but after using it for a while, I get used to it and it does not bother me anymore. I like the display on this phone, and watching media is joy, especially with those dual speakers. I don't think there is any phone in this price that provides such a great media experience. I know it has that 60 Hz refresh rate and a lot of people are complaining, but it's not that bad considering the price. And after coming from Z Fold 4 to this phone, it took me about an hour to get used to this phone. And actually the app experience on this phone is really good. It is not the fastest or the smoothest phone in this price range, I'm sure, but it has been a really reliable phone for me. See, it's not a bug-free experience. I mean, you are going to notice some bugs, like sometimes apps just do not want to close. They do hang for a little while. Actually, I'm on a beta version. Maybe that's not the case on the stable version. And sometimes, like you can see right now, it's going back from the pose animation, but sometimes it doesn't, so I have to close the app. So there will be some bugs, and actually the Pixel 6 user might be able to relate it with more, but it's not going to irritate you as much as it did for a lot of users in the initial stage of Pixel 6 series. I do want to talk about the overheating issues. I mean, a lot of people are complaining about the overheating, but I think a lot of those people do not actually have that phone. They're watching some other videos or reading some articles and just saying that. Because the people I know who have this phone are not facing overheating. I'm not saying it does not get warm or hot. So if you're using it for normal day-to-day social media like Twitter or Instagram, after 20-25 minutes you will feel that it is getting warm overall, and when you click pictures or shoot videos it does get hot, but it does not get overheat to the point where I'm not want to use this phone. And I can say that with confidence because I'm using this phone without a case now. So I agree, it does get warm, but it does not overheat. So the other day I was on a video call for over an hour and phone did get warm, but it was never hot. So and you know like how video call takes a toll on a phone. So I think it's not that bad. I don't know why people are complaining so much. I mean, in the end it's a Samsung made CPU and you're going to face a little bit of that issue. You cannot escape that part. It is basically an Exynos chip and Samsung fabrication is not the best. So if you're planning to buy this phone just because of that gaming performance or like the highest benchmark and no throttling, this phone is not for you. But if you want to use this phone to day-to-day use, like if you want to do social media, want to take pictures, and Google is basically using this performance for the AI features and the pixel specific features. So for day-to-day use it is a great phone, but it's not a gaming phone. It's not the most fastest phone or the coolest phone you're gonna buy in this price range. If I have to complain, there will be only one thing that I think that is weaker on this phone, especially after coming from a Samsung phone. The cell reception, it's not the best on Pixel phone, even on iPhones as well. So whenever I come from Samsung to any other phone, I feel like there is a little bit of that part that is missing. I mean, the call quality is not on that level. Also, I think the network reception and even the cellular data speed is not on that same level. Google confirmed that it does support carrier aggregation, but I feel the network data speed is not up to the mark. I think also that slow charging speed can be pain in the ass for a lot of people if you are coming from a faster charging phone. I am coming from an iPhone, so they are basically same speed, so it doesn't bother me as much. But if you are someone who are used to quickly charging your phone, this is not the phone for you. It takes ages to fully charge. And for the battery usage, I think it is a decent phone. It can last you for the whole day if you are a moderate user. On heavy day, you might have to charge it in the night. So I get around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time on this phone. I can stretch it up to 8 hours if I'm using on Wi-Fi, and it can go as low as 5 hours if you're just using on mobile data. So it's not the best, but it can get you through a day easily. I've talked about the cameras a lot in my recent videos, so I'm gonna keep it short. If you want a decent point and shoot camera, this is a great camera, and you can shoot a lot of good photos from it, but the sensor is actually old. And if you're planning to take videos from this phone, I don't think this is the best phone in the market right now for videos. So if you want that pixel contrasting look, it's a great camera just for photos, but not for videos. But the biggest reason I did not switch to this device as my primary phone because of that fingerprint sensor. I mean, I've accepted that fact that it is the slower fingerprint sensor on Pixel 6 series after that Samsung A series, like they were on A50, A50s. But the reliability issue were there, especially after Android 13, the fingerprint sensor kind of broke. See, I did not have that issue where it was unlocking with unregistered fingerprints. I think a lot of people were facing that issue as well. But for me, it was kind of useless. I was using the pin more over the fingerprint sensor because it was not unlocking with my right thumb especially. So I need to use a lot of moisture to use that. So it was frustrating. I was not using it. But recently, Google has released the quarterly program release. It's QPR1. It's actually in beta, but the fingerprint sensor has been improved a lot. As you can see, I mean, the accuracy has been improved, and I can just open this phone every time. I think the accuracy from 50% have just gone to 95% now. And that was the main reason I switched to this phone, because apart from that, none of the thing was bothering me on this phone. And with this build, I think it is working really good. See, I'm not asking you to buy this phone just because of that beta release, but I can say that it can be fixed with the stable release because it seems like a software issue, not a hardware issue. You can read all about it in the article written by XTA. See, I cannot confirm if the unregistered fingerprint issue has been fixed because I was not facing that, but I can confirm that accuracy have been improved. And the last thing for a lot of people, before purchasing this phone, you should consider that the service in India with Google phones are not the best because they do not have their official service center. They are relying on third party. So if you are going over budget to get this phone, please don't. And if you have anything particular phone in your mind that you want me to compare with this phone before the upcoming sales, you can let me know in the comment box. See, I love this phone, and I am being honest, I'm a little bit biased towards Pixel experience, also like semi-compact phones. So I am going to recommend this phone, but in the end, it is going to be your experience and your decision. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking this video. And if you want to watch more comparison regarding this phone, please subscribe to my channel. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.